Hi and welcome to today's tutorial. So in today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make Max's wig. In this part we're going to make the wig, the hair that you see here, and it's got a bit of a curl to it, and then I've stitched it on at the back. I hope that you can see there, and then there's the crown of the wig. So we'll jump straight in. So I'm going to be using this colour. It's actually called Auburn, so quite a good colour for this. And we are going to start with a magic ring. So to make a magic ring, we are going to wrap the yarn around 2 fingers. And then once we have wrapped the yarn around 2 fingers, we insert our hook in this first section here, and we grab this underneath section and pull through, give it a bit of a twist, of which you can then slide it from your fingers, move all of the other bits out of the way, yarn over your hook, hold on to the tail and this section here, and then we are going to draw through a loop, and then we can pull that taut and you will have a magic circle. So once we have done this and we've got our magic circle, we're going to be yarning over our tail, and we are going to put in 8 single crochets. So we go into our loop, draw up a loop and pull through 2. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Once we have our 8 single crochets, we can then close our round and join with a slip. Now into this first stitch we are going to put 2 single crochets for an increase. So there's 2, and then in the next we're also going to put 2. 1, 2. We'll now have 4 stitches into our magic ring. We're going to put another 2 single crochets into the next stitch. So now we have 6. Into the next stitch we're going to put 2 single crochets. Now we should have 8. Into the next, another 2. Now we should have 10. Into the next, another 2. Now we should have 12. Then another 2. We should have 14. And then our final 2. And we should have 16. Once you have 16 single crochets in your round, we are then going to go into that first stitch, join with a slip, and then we are going to go back into that stitch and put in 1 single crochet. Now in the next stitch we're going to put 1 single crochet and then another one for an increase. I'm going to pop my stitch marker into the very first stitch that we did, so I know when I'm back at that round. So we're going to go into the next stitch and put a single crochet, into the next stitch and put 2 single crochets, into the next stitch we put a single crochet, and then into the next stitch 2 single crochets, into the next stitch we put a single crochet, and then into the next stitch we put 2 single crochets, into the next stitch a single, followed by 2 single crochets, then into the next stitch a single, then into the next stitch 2 single crochets, into the next stitch a single, and our final stitch 2 single crochets. We should be meeting ourselves now back at the stitch marker. Once we are at that stitch marker, we can take it out and we'll join into that first chain with a slip stitch. At this point we can now close our ring together by pulling the tail of our yarn. For this part now we will have 24 single crochets. So I've chained 1, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain another 31, so we'll have 32 stitches in total. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 and 32. Once we have our 32 stitches, we're now going to yarn over and we're going to count 3 chains down. 1, 2, 3. We're going to go into this one and we're going to put in 2 half double crochets into the same stitch. So there's 2, and then into the next stitch we're then going to put 2 half double crochets, and we're going to have 10 of these double half double crochets in each stitch for the next 10 stitches. So we have 3 sets of double crochets into our next one and put in another 2 lots of double crochets. Go into the next. Put in 2 half double crochets. So there's 1 more set of half double crochets, another set of half double crochets, another set of half double crochets, and one final set of half double crochets. So once we have our 10 double half double crochets, we're then going to put in 20 half double crochets in each one of the remaining stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15, 16, oops, 17, 18, 19, and our final one, 20. Once we have that, we're then going to slip into the next row, like so, and then we're going to repeat. We're going to chain 32, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and oops, let's just make sure that's all right. Yep, that's fine. And 32. So once we've done that, we're then going to count 3 chains down from the hook. We're going to go skip 2 chains, go into the 3rd chain. We're going to put in 2 double crochets. Sorry, we're going to put in 2 half double crochets into each stitch for the next 10 stitches. So there's 1 set of half double crochets into the next stitch, another set of half double crochets, so there's 2 into the next stitch, 2 more half, oops, 2 more half double crochets, four, 3, into the next stitch, 2 more half double crochets, for our 4th set, into the next stitch, 2 more half double crochets, for our 5th set, then into the next stitch along, 2 more half double crochets, for our 6th set, into the next, 2 more half double crochets, into the next, 2 more half double crochets, that's our 8th, into the next, 2 more half double crochets, and our final double crochet set into the next, sorry, half double crochet set. And then for the next 20 stitches along, we are then just putting in half double crochets into every stitch. So work along the hairline. If at this point you put in a few extra double crochet sets, that doesn't matter, you'll just have additional curls in the hair. So you can change and amend this however you wish. So if you want the hair to be more curly, you can put in extra sets of half double crochets. So you could do that all along the hair if you wanted like a super curly hairstyle. Obviously this can change. We're just copying the one that I've done on my doll here that's next to me. So yeah, you can interchange this however you wish. And if you wanted straight hair, you would just do half double crochets all the way along, and that would not give you the curls. So if you wanted her hair to just be straight, instead of doing the 2 double half crochets into each stitch, you would just do a half double crochet into each stitch, and that will give her straight hair, or him if you want a long haired boy doll. So just keep going until I reach the top. And again, of course, you could do this in any yarn and any colour. So if you're not doing Max and you're doing a different doll, you can use whatever hair colour you wish. I'm just using auburn because Max has got auburn hair. So when we get to the top, again, we're going to slip stitch, and then we're going to repeat the process of the 32 stitches. Again, if you want different lengths of hair, you could then extend that chain, or if you wanted shorter hair, you could make that chain smaller to suit your doll and your doll's hairstyle. So I'm going to repeat the rest off camera, but hopefully now you will see how this is starting to look. So I'll meet back up with you once I finish the hair and show you how it looks. So I'm just going to pop in my final treble crochet, and then once I have my final treble crochet, I'm going to slip stitch into the last remaining stitch like so. Draw up quite a long tail and cut off. Now I will be leaving this tail loose so that the tail can be used to sew on the hair. So the hair should look something like this. On this particular doll, I wanted a hair a bit thicker, so I repeated this and I did 2. But that's how we've created our doll's hair. And then when we get our doll, it will just go on the top like that, and then you can then stitch it into place on your doll. This isn't for this doll because she has hair already. I'm making a second one of these. So I hope this was useful and showed you a bit of an insight into how to make the hair. Any questions, as always, please drop me a comment down in the comments box, and I hope that was helpful for you. Thanks for watching.